Hello and welcome to day 16 of this Unity game development journal. And today was probably the biggest day of coding I've done in the last 2 weeks. This is a Sunday. I had about from 10 in the morning till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So it's that 10, 11 hours of coding. And I did quite a bit based on a document that I created before. All right, so based on this document, I was working on different items that I need to work to get done, and I have like the cutscene, narrative dialogue that I worked on yesterday, and I got a lot done with that. I have the quests and trading system, inventory, and save and load. Those are all points that I touched on today. So I hit a lot of these points, and the thing is, a lot of these systems have to sort of work together. They want to be built, you want them to be built separately code-wise, but you actually want them to be able to work together to accomplish an end goal like for the game. So I actually rethought on how I would do the dialogue better. I originally had an inventory system, but it was dictionary based because I love dictionaries, but dictionaries don't work well with the save load and the serialization. So I had to rewrite the entire inventory system today in order to get that working. Then I tested out a scenario where I have this, I don't know why this is happening there, but I have this bee here, and then in order to talk, I talk to the bee and the bee wants something, so then I have to go get something. In this case, I'm collecting gems, which so I need an inventory for that. And then I go back to the bee, and the bee should say, oh, you have gems now. Can I trade with you? And then you can say yes or no and stuff. So I need to get the buttons working. I need to get multiple dialogue based on inventory working. I needed an inventory system and all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of that stuff I rewrote based on the new specs for the game. And I'll just sort of show you how it goes here. Now, at the same time of rewriting all this, I actually had to get it to save, which was sort of a tricky part. I wrote something and then it wasn't saving properly because I was using prefabs in my serialization, which you can't do. So I had to think, can I take the prefabs out, or do I want to save things differently? And I'm still up in the air about that. So to get it working today, I've taken the prefabs out of the database, and I just store data, like data about items and things like that. So I've had to juggle back and forth on different requirements, so it's sort of a learning process as I go through. So we've seen this already. You have dialogue. It's actually pretty neat that it's still working. So that stopped working for the longest time today, so I got it back working. So it's nothing new for you guys, but it is sort of nice that it's working. So it says there's a friendly bee over there. Go talk to it. So essentially, this will be like an NPC in the game, not the bee, but like the idea of a character. And you can go up to it, and it has different requirements based on your relationship or what it wants and things like that. So it just says, I really need one gem. Will you help me? And you can say no, and then you can just say like, oh, that sucks. I wish someone would help me, right? Then you can go back over and talk to it again, and it says I need a gem, and you can say yes. It says, oh, thank you. I will wait here for the gem. So this is just testing the situation out. Obviously, the story would probably be a lot better than this, and they would act a lot better or talk a lot better, but essentially we have gems here. Now, the gems are just items I can pick up that's going to be stored into an inventory. And to show that the inventory is storing things, I'm just printing out a list in the top left-hand corner of all the items in the inventory. Now, something to make note of, I designed the inventory a little bit different than most people do. I designed it to be a capped size of 9 units, of 9 items. And I'm thinking the player will have a 9 item cap on their inventory, and other things like chests and things can have a cap of like 12, whatever the size of the chest is. It'll be a bigger inventory. But I designed the system to have a limit. So, and each slot or each item in the inventory can only have one item placed there. A lot of inventory systems you can count up. So you say, oh, here's a gem, but then you can get up to like 64 gems. And it's fun for a game, but in this type of adventure game, you shouldn't be able to carry like a million things in your pockets. It doesn't make any sense. So you're limited to 9 individual items. That's the weapons, shields, like swords, coins, everything. So let's just go and collect something so you can see. So I have I collected. It's really hard to see, but in the top left-hand corner, there's a little bit of text there. It says Ruby, and I can keep going. This is enough to satisfy that guy, but I'm going to, or that bee, so I'm going to just collect these, and I can get up to 9. So this is actually 9 right there. And then these ones, it just stops collecting them. All right. But then if I go back here, I now have rubies in my inventory. And this bee is going to know that I have rubies now, so it's going to say, wow, you have what I need. Can I have it? So you can say no, and you say you're just a tease type of thing, okay? And then I'll go out of here, and I can come back and you have what I need. Can I have it? And I can say yes. You are so kind. This means the world to me. So at this point, I haven't got that far, but I'm like it's so easy for me to implement. I'm gonna have this as a trading system now, where if I say yes, they will actually take the inventory, the item out of my inventory, and they'll clear up a spot for me. And if they are offering me something, they will give it to me at that point. I'm right there to be able to do that, so that's gonna be easy to implement probably tomorrow. And the great thing is all this stuff works off saves, but I'm in the wrong screen to show you this. But essentially, if I go to here, I'm just going to show one thing before I show the saving. Is where did I have this? Okay, so I'm using the UI system for the buttons, and I believe in the view, it can call the view and say positive choice selected or negative choice selected. So that's sort of the hookups I'm doing right now. But it's very easy for me to switch it over and say trade selected or not trade selected. I can just create two more functions that simply execute the trade, and it's very easy. A few lines of code, and in order to hook that up, I've set it up really easy, especially using Unity's UI system, where I have the NPC here, and let me think, how is this done? Oh no, I have it in the where is it? The canvas. Okay. So in the canvas, we have the dialog box, which does all the communication for the cutscenes and things. So I have trade buttons. So in trade buttons, these will be enabled if this is a trade happening. And I can go over to the yes button. And down here, I have it hooked up to the positive choice selection and the negative choice selection. You can just hook up these buttons to go to certain spots, right? So I can head on over to the view, and instead of going to the positive and negative choices, I can just simply hook it up to a trade or not trade type of situation. Two real simple functions to accomplish that. So I'm right there on the cusp of getting that feature implemented. So really cool. I guess I'll show you the save stuff now is to close it off just to make sure that works. I actually haven't tested it in a while, but I'll just go back to the main screen. We'll save this. We'll run this real quick, and I'll just go into a new game, and we'll hit this. There we go, and we have it, so we can skip through that really quickly. We can check the B. This doesn't really save too much at this point, whatever. So, like, even if I hit no at this point though, and I go back with the gem, it knows already. It's like, oh, you have what I need. Can I have it? So that's a little bit weird. I'm going to have to work on tweaking that. But those are all fine-tuning and polishing of the game. So I'm just going, oh, see, this is the problem. Okay, so that happened to me before, and for some reason, let me think here. It's something to do with the scriptable objects. It's really causing bugs for me, and I'm wondering if I want to keep using it or not. It doesn't save the information that I put into there. So anyways, let's collect some gems. Oh, here, no, that sucks. Okay, so now it worked there. Really weird. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I have to run through it once for it to actually save the database, and then it works. I don't know. So I'm really curious on whether I want to keep using that or if I'm doing something wrong there. Okay, so I'm going to go up and save here. I have 2 rubies. It's hard to see, but I have 2 in my inventory there. So here it says call to save in the console, call to save game. Exit out of there, come back in, and I believe it would be this one. I'll just go into that game, and I have the 2 rubies still. Perfect. I'll collect another one. And this was actually a lot harder than it seems in here. It's pretty easy once it's done like this, but it actually caused a lot of issues, which is then I had to go back and reformat everything. So, or refactor everything. So I'll just go back in. I should have 3 gems now, and I do, or 3 rubies. Perfect. I can exit out of here, and I wonder what this save game is. Let's check it out. So I have all those rubies. Cool. Now the thing is that the save isn't doing is keeping track of which ones I pick up, so these automatically respawn. So the next step with the saving and loading is keeping track of world objects that I've already picked up, and not spawning them back if I've already picked them up. So that's that. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, this uh, see it froze here again. What happens is, let me think here. I'll just show quickly what that is and how it sort of gets fixed. I think it's because I ran through that saved game for the first time, and for some reason, believe it's in data resources, databases, cutscene database. Is it? No, cutscenes. Okay, so we have the hunter here, and this is the database for the hunter. It's all reformatted and everything, but essentially, if I go in here and yeah, everything looks good. But since I opened it, it refreshes it. And now I can go back in. I'm pretty sure I'll just go back to that same save thing. And it should work now. At least that's sort of been the pattern so far with that bug. There, see, it works now. See, once you go in once with it, it sort of refreshes this to be the most current version. And I don't know if there's some sort of a caching error going on or what it is, but it's really starting to bug me, and it sort of makes it unreliable to use the scriptable objects as assets. And I just find that if they're not completely up to date, if they've been cached or whatever happens, then it causes a huge bug in the game, and I don't like the fact that that's happening. So I'm gonna have to do more research on that, or just swap it out completely and do a different way of organizing these things. But anyhow, thanks for watching another long video. I like to explain all the stuff I did. Good 10 hour, 11 hours of coding, and got a lot of functionality done. It seems like it's sort of the game looks the same, but there's a ton of functionality built into this thing now for changing dialogues depending on situations, collecting inventory, and all that kind of stuff. So cool. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to keep on staying up to speed on how this game's coming along, and like the video or comment if you have questions or want more information on something. I'd be happy to help you. So talk to you later.